Hello. Today I'm going to show how to configure and install the Shorewall firewall. It is a high-level tool for configuring netfilter. We have to describe the firewall and gateway requirements using the entries in a set of configuration file. There are different configuration files like zones. You have to define zones, policies, configurations, and the finally rules. And the rules is the main gateway and firewall rules that we are allowing the connections from the different IP and to the different IP address to the different ports, different MAC address. So now I'll start how to install the Shorewall. As my machine is ready, I'm using the Kali Linux Debian version. And as Shorewall is present in the repository of Debian, so we can install directly from here. Before installing this, we have to ensure that our machine is up to date. For that, sudo apt get update. Okay, I'll update my machine. Okay, then it is updated. Now I will install Shorewall, and the command is sudo apt-get install Shorewall. This is the command, sudo apt-get install Shorewall. Okay, now it is already installed in my machine. Okay, then now as a Shorewall is installed in my machine, it is present in the etc file, and we have to configure the different files and define the different rules as well. So for that, I will move to Shorewall. I'll change the directory with the command etc Shorewall. For changing the directory, the command is cd. I'm in the Shorewall directory Shorewall. Now let's see what are the files present in the directory. To show the files list, we'll use the ls. Now we can see interfaces, contract, rules, policy, rules, policies, shorewall.conf, different files. So I will start with defining the zones. For that, sudo nano zones. We can use the sudo nano, where sudo means we are giving the root privilege to read, write, and execute, to edit there. If you don't give the privilege to the root, then we cannot edit there. So for that, it's sudo nano. We can use vim instead of nano as well, but it is a bit easy for me. Sudo nano zones. Now let's define and set up the zones. Yeah, here. Now we can see here, we can see in the header it's the zone, and what is the type and options. We don't have to give the other options because the zones are, it's FW, it's firewall, net, it's from the internet, IPv4 address, internet, and it's the local address, local network address. Oh, sorry. Okay, then I'll save, Control X, yes. Okay, then I will go through the interfaces. I will set up interfaces, sudo nano interfaces, sudo nano interfaces. Okay, then you can see the format, it's the zone, interfaces, and the options, as it's the zone net, and it's the local, and we have to define the options. It's the TCP flags, transmission control protocol, to communicate with any IP address, any browsers, any systems. We need the TCP flags because TCP is transmission control protocols, and we can define the different port after that, and it's the DHCP, and we can see this that's ETS 0 because uh, my internet connection is on the ETS 0 and ETS 1 is my connection with the local. Then I'll say this, please be sure that your configuration format is this, because if after we run the Shorewall then it will show some error. So for that, please be sure your configurations are right. And to know the configurations, you can go to the shorewall.net as well. There are the configuration that the this firewall company has provided. Now we'll go to the policy. Let's see the policy. Sudo nano policy. Sudo nano policy. Okay. Now we can see here is the source and destination. Source and destination, yeah, it's from the local to net from the internet, that is accepted. Yeah, if the source is local and the destination is the internet, then it is accepted. And if the source is net and if the destination is all, then it is accepted. And where it's the info, because info is in the in the log. We'll see after that, after a few minutes after running this Shorewall and setting up all the rules, because our main goal is to set up the rules, filter the packets, filter the IP address, filter the ports, drop IP address, ports, MAC address, and only allow the wanted and needed IPs, ports. So and be sure this configuration is right in your machine. Now then finally we'll move towards the rules, because it is the main goal of this tutorial video, because we have to set the firewall rules, firewall and gateway rules here. So sudo nano rules. Now let's see here. You can see how to write the rule. It's provided, because to write the rules there are three main flags, three main policies. That is, okay, then I will write here. That is rules. I will show here. That is accept, it should be in capital letter, drop and reject. I'll show this all in the rules. I will write the rules. And accept, accepting rule means giving access to any IP address, any ports on the defined rules. And drop and reject means to refuse the connections, but drop do not give the message, do not give the information of rejecting. Like if we give the flag, define the rules reject, then the persons or the machines who want to communicate with the firewall and the machines will get the reject messages, but drop will take the time and it will not pop up any messages. So there are three rules that we'll use. Let's go to the machines. Okay, now here I haven't defined any rules, no any rules, because we have accepted the pings. We can see here is the format, here is the action. What we'll do, action is the rules, accept, drop, reject. Source means which is the source, from where. That's FW means firewall, from firewall. Destination like net, and it's the protocol. The protocol can be TCP, UDP, SMTP, any, the transmission control protocol. So no, I'll not for this moment I'll not define any rules, because I want to show how to write rules after analyzing this Shorewall 6. So I will let this, yes, okay, it's control S. Now as we have seen all the configuration, zones, interface, policies and the rules, but we haven't defined any rules. We'll define after some process. Now let's see. Now after this we have to check the Shorewall status. Now for this, sudo Shorewall check. This is the command to check the Shorewall status. You can see it's working. Yeah, it's, you can see it is checking process, processing in parameters Shorewall conf. We can see this. Okay, now it's fine. The configuration is fine up to now. Rather, we haven't defined any rules. But if the configuration was not right, some missing on the configuration, then it will show some errors. Then okay, then now to start the Shorewall, the command is sudo Shorewall start, and this is the command. See, it's starting. Yeah, you can see this. Yeah, now start is. Now I will see the status of the Shorewall, because it is important, because we should be ensure that the status is correct. After starting of any, like this is the Shorewall firewall or anything in the machine, you should see the status. Okay, you can see it's running. Okay, then that's a barely Shorewall compile. We can see the information. Okay then I have started my Shorewall. Now my firewall is started working. Now let's see. That we haven't defined any rules. Then let's go to the browser. Okay, then I haven't defined any rules. Then let's go to google.com. Yeah, you can see the firewall is not giving us permission to connect to the internet. You can see the firewall is blocking. So now our writing rules will be started now. How to write the rules and make the connection with internet, deny different IP addresses, drop, reject, ping from another devices. I'll show you. Now let's start to write the rules. Sudo nano rules. Let's go. Now okay, we can see this. Okay, now we start from the first. I will start to give the connection with the internet. For this, as we know, we have the actions or flags, that is accept. Yeah, now the first one is completed. We have defined the action. Now we'll state the source. What is the source? The source will be firewall, because it is the source, because we are connecting to the internet. Then it will be the destinations, so we will set up the source as firewall. So destinations will be net, small letter, small net, and then we'll define the transmission control protocol as three-way handshake. Okay, then again we'll save this, control X, Y. Okay, now then, as we have mentioned the rules, we have we have written the one rules. Then after that, we have to either check the Shorewall or we have to restart. Restart will be fine. Sudo Shorewall restart, because we are writing the rules again, so that rules will be implemented. So for that, we have to restart the Shorewall again. Okay, we can see it's restarting. It's compiling all the configuration. It is taking the new configuration and restarting. Now we can see we have defined the rule that is accepting the we are going to connect with our internet. We are giving we have written such rule that will connect with our internet, with our device. Let's see. I'll go to google.com. Yeah, we can access the internet now, but this is not the optimum goal, because we have to define the many rules. Now I will start writing the rules. Sudo nano rules. Yeah, I have because I have the access to the internet now. because firewall have given permissions, we have given the rules. Now I will I will give one example. Let's suppose it's I will uh, I will not give access to these machines to the firewalls. I'll block the block one IP address, one URL. Like let us take an example of Facebook. Now I will take out the I will I will write the rules how to drop and reject certain IP addresses. Like I will take the example of Facebook, because it is because we have to write such a rules that we have to deny certain IP address, we have to block, we don't have to give the permissions to go through these machines or go from this machine to the networks in the internet. So I will I will see I will go to the NS lookup. Let's see the IP address of facebook.com. Now to the to get the IP address of any URL, the command is ns lookup. I will also give some tutorial on this ns lookup dig and map as well. But now see let's see the IP address of Facebook is 157.240.21.35. Now I'll copy this address. Okay, then I'll copy the address and I'll go to the rules. Okay, then how to write the rules to deny, reject, not give connection from our firewall to the Facebook certain IP. I've taken example of the Facebook IP. Let's write the rules. Now first of all, I will reject I'll reject the connections with the certain IP. For that it will be reject, because we have to write the rules before this rule, because it is accepting the TCP packets, it is accepting to give us access to the internet. So I'll write top of this new rules that for rejecting, from where the source will be firewall. If we have to reject connection from any IP address from the outside, then we will define the source as the IP address from the outside and define the destination of our local network. So for this, because we don't have because we are setting up such rules that will refuse the connection with Facebook from this device. Now for this it will be net. Now I'll define the IP address. What was the IP address? I will paste here. Okay, then and what is the connection? Because connecting to the Facebook is transmission control protocol, because we are giving the acknowledgement, well giving the acknowledgement, we are using the through three-way handshake protocol, because we are accessing the Facebook, so it's the TCP. Okay, then I will save it. I will say yes. Then now we have set up the rules that will reject the certain IP address. You can put any IP address as well as port there, also the port as well. Sudo nano rules. Okay, then I will restart my Shorewall restart. Sudo Shorewall restart. Okay, I am restarting. If it's taking a bit time. Here you can see it is loading. If there are any any mistakes in the rules, it will appear here and you have to fix it on that rules, because we have to follow the certain rules to write the rules for the firewalls. So now I have started my scene. Then we can go to the browser. Now let's go to that IP address. Control V. This is the IP address of Facebook. Now let's enter. Oh yeah, you can see now where our rules is right. We are able to refuse the connection of Facebook from the firewall to the internet, but we can connect to the Google. We can use any other things in the internet besides the certain IP, because we have rejected, we haven't blacklist or block, but we are not giving the permission to go through that URL or IP address. So this is the rules to accept. For accepting, we can write the same rules. We can write accept instead of reject. And if we want to define the port, you can define any ports, like it's the TCP. I'll define the ports, it's 21, it's FTP, and it's source port also something like FTP. Then we can define the ports here, and it will give access to the access to only the defined ports of this IP address. We can see here it's reject. I have rejected the certain IP address. Now going through this I have another device in here. I have Metasploit, and I will show something that connection from the outside. See, no, yeah, no, let's see, it's let's see thing. Let's see the IP address of my machine. Okay. Sudo if config. Okay, you can see IP address my machine is 92.68.159.30. Okay, I'll ping from here, ping 192.168.159.1330. we can see the request ICMP packet is pinging. Request of ICMP packet is successful. Yeah, okay. I'll stop this. And another thing, as if you go to the browser, and if we will go to the Metasploit. Now I will I'll see the IP address of this if config. Yeah, we can see the IP address is 138. Okay, then let's go to the browser and see 192.168. Yeah, here is the IP address. 159.159.138. Okay, then yeah, you can see that we can access to the Metasploit through our browser from here. Now I will write the rules that will block this, reject this IP address not connecting to this Metasploit, and I will I will write such a ping rule that ping and connection rules from the source of this Metasploit. Let's go to the rules. Okay, then we are in the rules. Okay, now we are able to connect from this another device, Metasploit 2. Now I will now I will reject from source. What is the source? From the net 192.168.159.138, yeah, to our firewall. Okay, it's TCP. Okay, then I will save the rules. I will write as. Okay, then it's restart. Okay, then I will ping 192.168.159.130. maybe it's pinging. Oh, our rules, maybe there is some mistake in our rule. Let's go there and see the rules. Okay. Now I have to reject first of all, let's reject the ping from that another device, and there is the rule that ping accept or reject. Okay, then I will define the ping, sorry, reject from I didn't have to define any TCP or something. Okay then, maybe ICMP request. We can define ICMP relax y. Okay then, now I'll restart the Shorewall. Okay, now let's go to Metasploit and ping to the machine. It's again pinging. Control C. I think maybe our rules is not right. Maybe I have accepted. Yeah, we can see the example. It's error in the line 26. Oh yeah, this can be one example how the error occurs. Now I'll go there and make the amendment of my rules. Maybe it's ping should be in capital letter. I think P should be. I'll control X Y. Okay then, restart. Okay then, now it's the Shorewall has ensured that our rules are correct, and it's restarted. Now I'll go to here and ping from the outside device. Yeah, we can see the destination host is unreachable. You can see this. I have written the rules that rejecting the ping from this IP address from this device. I don't want to get connection from this device, so I have rejected this. For the rejection, I have earlier mentioned that it will give message to the IP or the person want to communicate, and they are getting the message. And there is another disadvantages of the reject is that we can get the proper information that we have been rejected, we have been blocked. But if we use the drop, then we will not get any information, and it will be a bit hard for the persons who want to communicate such the machines, certain machines like here we have done through Metasploitable to Kali Linux from one computer to another. So then let's try with another rules. Maybe there must be drop rule. I will drop. Okay, so I have saved. I'll restart. Okay then. Okay, it's okay. I'll go to here. Okay, I'll again ping. You can see it is not pinging. The ping is dropped by the firewall. As you can see, our Shorewall is activated. It is dropped by the Shorewall because we have defined the rules. According to the rules, it is dropped. We are not getting any information, and if there is any attackers, if there is any unauthorized access that want to communicate with this, will be confused, because they will not be sure that it has been blocked, it has been rejected. So it will take a bit time to know that it has been blocked or dropped. So drop is one of the best method to block, to prevent from any access. Now again this. Now I have shown that we can access the Metasploitable from here. Now I will write such the rules that will reject okay, I'll start with the drop, because drop. Now because we are using our browser, then the source will be Firewall. See, Firewall. and the net will be, what is our IP address of the metasploitable? It is 138. Okay, it's the TCP. I will drop this, Control X, save. Okay, I'll restart. Okay, it's done. Now I'll go to here and I'll type the IP address 192.168.159.138. Okay, I'll do from here 192. Here is in the IP address, you can see. Yeah, you can see that it is saying that it is taking too long to respond because we have used the command drop, flag drop, because it's not it's saying that it is taking a long time. So it is we are not able to access this IP address metasploitable. So this is the way how we define the rules. We can see that here are the define. If you want to allow the SSH connections, SSH accept, here is the rule: SSH accept from where, source, and where is the destination. You can accept SSH from the any destinations, or you can reject and drop SSH connection. Likewise FTP, SMTP. Now this is the rules. We have to define the rules like this. If we want to take the ports, we can define after the protocol. Here we can define any ports which you want to block or accept. In this way you can write the rules. For writing further rules and information, you can go to the sites of Shorewall. There can be lots of examples, and even port forwarding, DNAT, SNAT as well. So this is the rules, how we define the rules. Now another important thing is that we have to see the log files, because we have to get the information where the IP addresses have been accepted, rejected, and the information, whole informations, working layout, and the information of the firewall is in the log file. That we can go in the bar log, the cd, as we can change the direction, we can change the directory bar log. Okay, then we're in the bar log. Let's do ls. Now before doing this, let's go to our Shorewall conf file. Now let's go to the Shorewall conf, because we have one scat shorewall.conf. Okay, then now one thing for this, I'm sorry that this I should tell this before, because it is also one of the setup that we should do. I think we should yeah, you can see, if you go to the shorewall.conf, we can use the same command sudo nano shorewall.conf. You should be ensured that before writing the rules, so you should be ensured that the start of enable should be as before starting there will be no, or there will be nothing. So we have to make sure that it is as the enabled. We should enable the startup, then only our rules and our will be working, firewall will be working. Now we can see the different macros, firewall options. We'll go to go from here. Okay, then okay, now it's we have defined the rules as well, and now we are able to define the rules. We can accept, reject, drop the different IP addresses and the ports that we want, and we can reject the unauthorized IP addresses using the same rules. Now the main one thing is we have to know that the log file, as in the log file, if you go to the bar and the log, there is the messages. You can see messages. There are the information about the firewall rejecting, accepting, and dropping of the IP address that we describe in the rules. We can see that because it is very important. We should see. We have to see that from where the unauthorized access are coming to the firewall. That firewall is rejecting and authorizing. You can see here. For that, cat messages sudo. I should give the root privileges. Sorry. Okay then. Okay, you can see that. You can see the different rules that we have. Different rules and different connections that was transferred to our machine through the firewall. This is the rules. You can see rejecting th1 ethernet 1 of MAC address. This we can get all the information in the log file, because this is very important. We have to know that where is the log file. Now you can see here all the informations of that our firewall is producing. Yeah, that it is the info message that we are getting. It is accepted, it is rejected. See, here is the reject, here is the accept. I can see now it's the destination port, it is the source port, reject in out. You can see the different messages in the log file. So now in this tutorial video we are able to install the Shorewall and define the different rules and configure the different different files like zones files, and that be ensure that your all the commands for the files like zones, interfaces, policies are correct. If they are not correct, then the because we have to check the, don't forget to check the Shorewall, because if you define the zones, interfaces, and you put the parameters, then after please check the again write the command sudo Shorewall check. Then after only you start the Shorewall, then the firewall will start. So from this we can write any rules, as we have seen that sudo nano rules. We can define any rules here. Can reset, accept, dropped, different IP addresses being dropped, DNS accept, DNS reject. So now for now this much for the installation and defining some rules and configuring the files of the Shorewall. I'll be coming with the further port forwarding, DNAT, SNAT in the another tutorial video. Thank you. I hope this video will give you much information about the setting of Shorewall, installing and configuring it, and some idea about how to write the rules, how to make the firewall, define the firewalls, because Shorewall is a bit vast and a bit complicated, because it is very strong tool. Rather for the simple firewall, rather installing Shorewall, we can use the UFW and IP cop as well, but it is a bit strong, and it's a powerful, flexible and powerful firewall tools, and it is used on the available of IP tables configuration as well. I'll be coming with others remaining part of the Shorewall in another next tutorial video. Please like, comment and subscribe this tutorial video. Thank you.